We got this list via text messages as well as emails. However, we are still waiting to find out what classes and what grades this man was teaching. Captain Gary Winheim, he heard those shots. He was responding to that call, but he did not come face to face with the suspect until further down County Road 44. A member of the Teamsters Union right there. Other people are here as well. Last week, they helped 2,000 families. I asked if they would be able to do the same tomorrow. They just don't know. To put this in perspective, a new Kaiser Family Foundation poll shows that Black adults are starting to come around to the vaccine, but still 35% say they won't take it. If you're going to double up and wear 2 masks, doctors say you should do it like this. First, you're going to put on a surgical mask. As cases have gone up, many people have wondered, where have you been? The sheriff told me yesterday that just naming the schools would not have impeded this investigation.
I understand that was not our understanding at the time.
It's about creating your own experience. You can build your own lightsaber, your own droid. There's also an app that will let you unlock other secrets. And that's because, Vanessa, only rural districts had voluntary mask policies, which means we don't know what a voluntary mask policy would do to districts with urban cities like Orlando. This school year, when the school bell rang, most students had to wear a mask. Some parents were for it. Do you think it's necessary?
Yes, I do. I am very much pro-mask.
Others against kids having to cover up.
They just wore down on them, so we opted to just go fully virtual.
This dad was happy with Commissioner of Education Richard Corcoran's memo stating, quote, "The data shows us the district's face covering policies do not impact the spread of the virus. I requested the data from the Department of Education and received it in this email Thursday night, then shared it with public health statistician and Texas A&M professor emeritus Eric Solomon and Jason Salami, an epidemiologist and professor at the University of South Florida College of Public Health."
Based off that data, does it show that masks don't work in schools?
Yeah, so I go by not only that information, but the information that was also cited in the recent Morbidity Mortality Weekly Report by some very well-respected authors from the Florida Department of Health. And I did not see evidence that masks don't work.
The state looked at information from 27 Florida counties with optional face covering policies, all rural. The largest, Marion County, with 41,000 students.
It's important to realize that 93% of the population of students are in a county or a school district that did implement mask mandates.
Without info from any urban districts, Solomon and Salami say there's no data to confirm or deny mask effectiveness in schools. Now, for this story, we did once again ask to interview Commissioner Richard Corcoran, but that request was denied. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to look at a CDC report that also looked at Florida schools and used some of that same information the state sent us, why it's recommending that masks still be used. Reporting live in Orlando, Cierra Putman, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. Disney fans are excited to get back to the magic, but so too are cast members. Not just because they are Disney fans, but because they have bills to pay. Some of that Disney magic is returning. It's different, but guests and cast members are back. Daniel Ranieri and Corey Escobar are watching from home.
Waiting for my unemployment to come through and praying that Disney calls me soon.
They're both Disney resort servers and furloughed.
There's nothing there, just bills and no way to pay them, and it's just really scary.
The parks are coming back, but not everyone's back to work.
That's the perception, and no, that's not the case.
And there's a ripple effect in the community when the theme parks suffer.
So my landlord's a cast member. All 3 of us in this household are cast members, and there are tons of households like that throughout the Orlando area. And it's a web that stretches out very far.
Before the pandemic, Disney paid more than 70,000 cast members. How many have been called back is unclear. Disney won't say, but the Disney unions are. Unite Here Local 737 represents housekeeping and food and beverage cast members like Escobar and Ranieri. 7,000 out of 18,000 members were called back, about 39%. It's better for attraction and custodial workers with Local 362. More than 80% are back, a little less than 7,000 out of 8,000. The couple is concerned concerned about COVID-19, but it's not their biggest worry.
At this point, I'd rather risk my health than be destitute with no money.
Praying Disney's reputation and pandemic precautions are enough.
I'm just scared, that's all.
To bring back workers and keep them working. Walt Disney World employs the majority of our theme park workers, but just remember, SeaWorld and Universal, they employ about another 30,000 people, and all of those workers aren't back yet either. And remember, those parks opened last month. Reporting outside the Walt Disney World, Cierra Putman, Channel 9, Eyewitness News. Very busy day just for the site, but also for interpreters. At the site today, they are giving away 5,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So those are vaccines going into arms, and interpreters are here to answer people's questions in their native tongue. If you follow Araceli Osornio, you'll hear her switch from English to Spanish.
Do they check it already for you?
Yeah. She's a nurse and Spanish translator here at the Valencia College West Campus FEMA vaccination site.
So you're very busy. All day long, yes.
Busy helping people like Jonette DeRocha and her mom.
¿Y usted tiene alergias a algún medicamento?
No. Have the translators been helpful?
Nosotros como intérpretes hemos sido de tu ayuda. Sí, por supuesto que sí. Absolutely.
As a Spanish speaker herself, Osornio knows how important her job is for the community.
It is essential for us to know what are we getting in our body, in our own language, be able to comprehend it.
There are at least 15 Spanish translators working each day here, as well as 5 Creole interpreters and 1 ASL or American Sign Language interpreter like Yvonne Krause.
The most common question is the vaccine safe? So my answer is yes.
Osornio started when the site opened on March 3rd.
Some of them just tell me, oh, my sister, my cousin, my neighbor told me that to come and ask for you.
She remembers helping a crying, trembling Venezuelan woman.
And she's like, I'm just so grateful. In my country, they don't have access to this. Still give me chills. I'm not going to lie. It's very emotional, and I understand it.
And translators also use the Google Translate app to help people who speak other languages. Osornio says she has already helped Thai, Chinese, and Russian speakers. Reporting live in Orange County, Cierra Putman, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
Ima Black is 96 years old and has told shipbuilders to hurry up so she can see the completion of this Navy destroyer, a ship she'll help christen next week. Ima Black's home is a museum.
This is when we were dating.
A museum of the life she built with her husband, Delbert. At 96, she still remembers first seeing him at a basketball game with friends.
Kiddingly said to them, I like number 13. I like his legs.
Those eye-catching legs led to a 50-year marriage. Sadly, Delbert died in 2000. Now, first thing in the morning, she sees the Navy destroyer being built in his name. She got the news a few years back.
The USS Delbert D. Black. That sounds good to me.
Here's video of the construction of the Delbert D. Black DDG-119, courtesy of Huntington Ingalls Shipbuilding Division.
It's going to be a lot of bells and whistles on it, too. Keep up with a modern Navy.
Delbert Black was the first ever Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy. He wanted the position to be a voice for enlisted men and women. Ima says some wanted him to fail, but he listened and heard the concerns of enlisted sailors and helped find solutions. Ima suggested he wear 3 stars.
And the office now is a huge success. The Master Chief of the Navy is at the Pentagon alongside the Secretary of the Navy and the Chief of Naval Operation, and they all work together for the good of the Navy.
And she was such a great interview. I can tell. She says that this ship isn't just for her or her husband, but all those enlisted sailors that he worked for.
Wow.
I like how she said she saw him and liked his legs. That's just, I knew I liked her then.
Yes, and obviously at this point we understand that her husband served in World War II, and she did too?
It's a crazy story. So he actually survived the attack on Pearl Harbor, and then she served in the Navy Waves, which is the Women Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Service. She said a recruiter came into the shop she was working for, and she knew that's how she was going to see the world. Wow.
That is quite the story.